Android and iPhone users welcome. BlackBerry and Windows Phone users, these phones don't even support podcasting, bro. The podcast going beyond the headlines. This is the GooplyCast. Here's your host, Matthew Carter.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the GooplyCast. We're back. How does it feel to be back, everybody?
It's been a minute.
Has been a minute. A lot of changes here. So, well, half changes. Roy's background is still the closet looking background. But Tim and I both have new backgrounds.
Roy has stayed humble through all the success of the GooplyCast. He has stayed the same.
Here's the thing. I keep telling Roy that I will come over and do his office setup, but he won't let me near his house. So, I mean, there's nothing else I can do. Like,
I'm renting. There's only so much I can do with this space.
Dude, I rent too, and look at this shit.
Okay, but you're using an actual room in your apartment. I'm using the garage.
Dude, we could totally fix up your background. I'm telling you.
What would you need to do? What would you
I got
need to
tons
do?
of I don't know, I'd have to see the space and then I'd have to work
We'll
with
just
it.
put
But
up
I got
some
a ton
fake drywall behind me.
Well, I even told you I'd buy you a green screen to put up in the background so you could just put whatever you want. Like, all you gotta do. Anyways, we are back freshly with the GooplyCast. Tim went to Disneyland.
I sure did.
So if you notice anything in his background, he's showing off two things in his background that he recently got. And I just want to point out that that's not a true verified badge.
Actually, it's three things. You're forgetting the my nice new attire.
Very
Fresh
snazzy.
Star Wars land.
But
Star Wars.
there's a Twitter badge, verifier badge that you don't have on Twitter.
Oh no, Teams fell. But I got this today in the mail, and guess what? This cost me. I got this for the cost of 1 month of Twitter Blue for $8. So for $8, you can be verified for life, or you can just only get 1 month of verification. Like, I don't know. It seems kind of like a no-brainer to me.
But I don't see a verified check mark on your account.
I can put it anywhere. I could put it as my profile picture. I could put it as on my car. I could verify my car, which
I don't
is actually
think you
what
can
we're
put
gonna
it.
do.
I don't think you can put it on your I don't think you can put it on your picture anymore. I think Twitter will stop it to do it. But anyways, that's for the second half of the broadcast.
You're telling me a freedom of speech platform is not really freedom of speech?
No, it's not. Two people got fired for speaking out on things. So, but anyways, we'll get back to that. We got to get to the big important topic that we had, and that is that we all tried out the Pixel devices for a week. Tim, I loaned him my Pixel 6, and then Roy and I are rocking the Pixel 7 Pro. And yeah, so we kind of ditched Android for a week, and some of us
Ditched
liked it better than
iPhone
others.
for a week.
Sorry, ditched iPhone for a week. Some of us liked it more than others. So let's just get in with our experiences. And we'll kick it off with Tim, because I know he's got a lot to talk about.
So it's kind of hard for me to fully was kind of hard for me to do this because I just recently, I've been on Android for a long time, switched to iPhone recently, so I'm still fairly new in iOS. So switching back to Android, I really didn't like it. I was not happy at all with this switch because
remember Roy when we tried to convince him to switch to iPhone for the longest time, and he was so against it, and now he went to iPhone and he won't go back. He doesn't want to go back to
first
Android.
Of all, I'm very stubborn. Ask Zoe. I'm very stubborn. So when I switch everything over, everything is now on my iPhone. Like everything iOS. Like I freaking bought AirTags within like the first 2 months of owning an iPhone. So I'm very now, I wouldn't say fully invested in the Apple ecosystem. I've got AirPods. I've got the AirTags. What else do I have? I have the Apple Watch. And so I'm very.
He might have an iPad soon.
Possibly, we don't know. It's very invested in iOS now. So it's like when you get Android back into your life, it's like this beating headache that just never leaves because it's just there and it doesn't belong there anymore because you got rid of everything that was associated with it. But so to actually talk about the experience of using the Pixel rather than like.
But what did you get rid of? You didn't really get rid of a lot of stuff.
You just got rid of your phone.
True.
You just got rid of your phone.
The Apple ecosystem.
You bought more into the Apple ecosystem because
true.
Apple just everything Apple just works with Apple. So
yeah,
that's kind of what you did.
True, very true. But
okay, go on.
To kind of get to the what it was like, it was fine. I mean, I noticed less bugs on it. The fingerprint scanner worked better than it did when I originally reviewed the phone. Back in 2022 or 2021? I don't even remember.
Early
it was
2022, late 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
So almost a year ago at this point, and it's gotten better for that. I didn't notice any phone call drops. I still carried my work iPhone with me all the time just for emergencies and stuff like that. But also it just also made me realize how much, like, switching back to Android, using it, realizing how much I depend on iOS now just because of those family features and emergency contact features with iOS. Like, so if something happens to Zoe, I know because I'm the emergency contact. I have Find My, so I know exactly where she's located. Like, it's the peace of mind that I really like about having on iOS. That is what keeps me wanting to, which is what got me to switch to iOS in the first place, was the peace of mind.
Had Zoe ever used the Android phone?
No, she had a Windows phone way back in the day. It was like it was back in like long time ago.
You're talking pre Windows 7.
She had I don't remember. She had a Windows phone. I just know that.
Was it an old Nokia phone that they?
It was like a prepaid Windows
rebranded.
Phone. It was like a Cricket Windows phone. Not great.
Oh, so then that was Windows. That was Windows Mobile 8.
Yeah. She had that, and it was a phone, so she enjoyed it because she could do, texting and calling. It was a phone, and then she bought a friend's old iPhone 6 for, I think, like $15 or something like that. And she got that, and she was super excited because that had Pokemon Go and Snapchat. Because, of course, Windows Phone didn't have Pokemon Go, so she couldn't do that.
Or Snapchat. So she was very thrilled to get on iOS or
what does she use now as a phone?
She's still on iOS
version of the iPhone.
She has a 10R.
Okay.
That's been what she's had for the last couple years now. She really likes it.
the 10R is getting up there in age, so we are looking to upgrading her in the next year or two, but it's still working for her, so she's happy with it.
It'll probably get updates for another couple years, so you know.
Yeah, exactly. But I think we're gonna push to upgrade her in this next year, possibly. Maybe we'll wait till iPhone 15 comes out to upgrade, but they just keep adding features to each one, so it's like you can wait.
Yeah, I know you guys are on different cell phone plans, but if you do decide to move out of state and you travel a lot, the Magenta Max plan is really nice because you get the hotspot data, you get the free Wi-Fi in the plane, which is really nice. You know, because my wife, like, she just likes to sit there and play. What does she play? She plays Yahtzee or a bunch of games, though. She plays, and so that's pretty much all she does on the plane. And she texts and stuff like that. But for the most part, you know, it's nice to have that extra Wi-Fi there on there.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of that, go ahead.
I was gonna say I just added my dad onto my family plan, and he had an iPhone 10, which is older than the 10R, and he traded it in with T-Mobile, and they gave him a free iPhone 14 with trade-in.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I mean, you can get hella deals right now.
The
for
original
trading
trade
in old
value
phones.
was $65.
They want it, and here's the reasoning why I believe they want to try and get you trade in. They want to get you off the older network, which is the LTE network, and they want to get you on the 5G network because that's what it's all about now. Every carrier is fighting to get everybody onto the 5G network, and so that's what you're looking for. So, so that's, you know, fair for what Roy said. You know, they're trying to get everybody off and onto the new.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of the crappier, like not crappier, but cheaper phones that you would buy for someone that's older. They're all 5G. Like my grandma got a phone. It was a prepaid phone from I think T-Mobile, and it had 5G on it. And I was like, "What?" And so I sent a picture of it to my cousin, and he was like, "Dang,
you can
Grandma
get a
has
free
nicer
5G
phone."
if you have an older phone, regardless to what it is. You can get a free 5G phone on T-Mobile. I don't know what the version is. They were giving out the Nord. I think the last time I checked.
I have a friend who just got the Nord.
Yeah, and you can trade in any phone in any condition, and get a 5G phone. It just has to turn on, but you know, any condition of the phone.
Yeah.
Literally, and they will give you a free 5G phone. No question.
That's crazy.
You know. Yeah, and that's the reason why they want to get everybody off of the older network. They want everybody to experience 5G because 5G is where it's at. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, my 5G speeds are faster than I've ever had. You know, I am in Bellevue, Kirkland area, which, you know, is kind of headquarters to T-Mobile. So, you know, when I go down to right outside T-Mobile headquarters, I'm pulling 700, 800 on a download speed. Like it's, and you know, 300 to 500 on an upload speed. It is massive, you know, and that's what 5G is all about. You know, they're pushing home internet too, and you know, we're even considering switching to home internet from them too, because we ditched the Hulu Live TV, but that was the problem that we had with it, you know, and stuff like that. And you can literally get it for $30 a month if you're on the Magenta Max plan. So we're really looking at that, on doing that, and you know, adding that, because that's $30 rather than paying $100. And like literally, we're getting massive download speed. So, yeah. Any other final thoughts, though? You want to add?
The Pixel 6 has gotten better with the software updates, so I'm glad to see Google is continuing to push the Pixel 6 more and more and actually continue updating it. Do we know if the Pixel 6 was promised just 3 years of software updates, or was it more? 3? Okay. That's kind of pathetic.
Even the Pixel 7 is 3 years. 5 years of security updates, which is the same as the Pixel 5. But the way they played it off in the thing, they said it'll get 5 years of updates. And that's really not true. I mean, it'll get 5 years of security updates, but only 3 years of things. But they said basically 5 years of pixel or of feature drops or whatever, which it's not going to get 5 years of feature drops. It's going to get 3 years of feature drops and 5 years of security updates. So, yeah. Okay. I'll go next. So I use an iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I have the Pixel 7 Pro, which I just got. And out of the box, like I was really impressed with it. I'm not a big fan of the I'm not a big fan of the face unlock. It's garbage, to be honest. I wish that we had the face unlock from the Pixel 4. The Pixel 4 was, I mean, the best face unlock that we've ever had on a Pixel device. And the fact that they put this in here, it's not secure enough to use for authenticating, purchases or banking apps or any of that. So you have to use your fingerprint and stuff like that. So it just seems like it's useless to me. It doesn't work really well at nighttime. So, but I will say I rarely put in my password anymore. Like I've gotten the fingerprint down. And I don't know if it's just because, at first out of the box, I had some issues with it, but over time, like I think I've learned how to put the finger down on it and get better things. Sometimes it messes up, but then it'll either recognize my face or it'll just unlock, or a combination of two of them together. So, I'm not a big fan of that, but I am a fan of it actually working with, in conjunction with the face or the fingerprint scanner. So, overall, I think the camera is great. I actually was early for my haircut appointment over the last week. And so I walked around Seattle Center. I took a picture of KXP Studios. I posted it on my Twitter account. But I mean, it's really nice. Like, I mean, that was a pretty easy shot to make out of the box. I did use one of the filters that was built in on it, but I mean, it's nice. Like it was an amazing day to go out and take pictures, and the Pixel 7 absolutely does. Is it better than the iPhone 13 Pro Max? I don't think so. I mean, they both have differences in them and stuff like that. I think I've captured some great pictures on my iPhone 13 Pro Max versus my Pixel 7 Pro, but you get different shots from different cameras, and that's, I think, same thing with Samsung, OnePlus. You're going to get a different experience, but I think it's a great experience all around. So, the software update that we've gotten, I haven't had any network connectivity issues. It's been spot on. Like, I think I had to reboot my phone once because I had slow speeds, but that was about it. Nothing major, nothing outrageous. And I think that it was actually the network, because I was having slower speeds on my 13 Pro Max as well. So at the time, I pretty much go with my Pixel 7 Pro, and I don't use my 13 Pro as much. Over the last few days or week or so, I have used it a little bit more. But out of the box, like ever since I got the Pixel 7 Pro, I've been pretty much using it. Roy and I talk on a daily basis. He's been he was going back and forth between things, but I really do like the RCS, and I really hope that Apple brings RCS finally to the iPhone, because I mean, this is hands down the best secure way to talk to people. SMS is not secure, and if Apple's all about privacy, then they should bring RCS to the iPhone. That's plain and simple. Give everybody a chance to do it. One of the things that's pushed me more towards my Pixel 2, I think, too, is just because I get so much spam messages on my iPhone, likely from the data breach that T-Mobile had. I mean, I got 2 or 3 today, but I like it. I mean, it's a good experience. I got a great home screen. I like the feel of it, you know, and yeah, happy with it. Trying to think if there's anything else. Video, I've taken a few videos on there. I do kind of like the video on the iPhone 13 Pro Max better. I think iPhone does a good job at video. Pixel 7 Pro has the new cinematic video. Not as good as the iPhone version, to be honest. You get better. I think you get better quality in the video all around on the iPhone. So there you have it. That's my thoughts on the Pixel 7 Pro versus the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Roy, I know you're eager to share your opinion.
I will try not to echo too much on what Matt said, but when I first picked it up, I didn't have the luxury of having a phone line on my iPhone and a phone line on my Pixel, so I had to go 100% in with the 7 Pro, and I ran it almost completely for 2 weeks. Before I completely went back to my iPhone. I ran it for a week straight, went back to the iPhone for a day, and I was like, no, I'm going to go back to the Pixel because I was really enjoying the Pixel, and there's nothing wrong with my iPhone 14 Pro Max. There's like Matt said, there's good things about both phones. I don't really care too much about the photography. I don't take a whole lot of pictures. I think the Pixel does great for certain things that the iPhone doesn't. The iPhone does great things for certain settings and whatnot that the Pixel doesn't. So I'm not going to get too much in the photography, but overall, the how smooth it is, like you said, the way that it feels in the hand, it just feels good. It works great. This is everything the Pixel 6 should have been when it launched. Yeah, I went back to the iPhone for like 24 hours, not even that. Then I switched back to the Pixel. And I only recently, within the last week, went back to the iPhone. But now I'm using both at the same time, like Matt is. I think that if I had to only use one on a regular basis at this point, I'd probably play more with the Pixel than the iPhone. Once again, nothing against iOS. I have iOS ecosystem built pretty well for me. I mean, I got the watch, I got the AirPods, MacBook, AirTags, my whole family, my dad, my sister, my brother, everybody in my household, my mother-in-law, they all use iPhones. So not being able to have iMessage or use Find My if I'm trying to figure out like where somebody is, like my daughter or my wife, because they're not answering their text messages. Not being able to have that at my fingertips kind of sucked a little bit. Those were the only things I was really missing from my phone. I even got used to the fact that I wasn't getting notifications on my wrist after a few days. But face unlock, I'm going to say the same exact thing. The face unlock on this is absolute garbage. You have two options if you're going to use face unlock. You can have face unlock where it skips the lock screen, or you can have face unlock where it doesn't skip the lock screen. If it doesn't skip the lock screen, it realizes that you've unlocked your phone. The little latch thing unlatches, and you have to swipe up in order to open up your screen. If I'm going to put my thumb on the screen, I might as well just use the thumbprint. But if you skip the lock screen, you can't have it auto clears all your notifications, number one. And number two, you can't have media player controls on your lock screen because that's a notification on the lock screen. So I tried it with it skipping the lock screen, and that was really annoying, not being able to have any media controls. So I went back to having it not skip the lock screen. But once again, at that point, you might as well just use the fingerprint scanner. I really wish that Google would find a way to incorporate Project Soli into its Pixel lineup again, because the Pixel 4 did have the best face unlock of any Pixel. I think it was even better than the iPhone. Not that I hate Face ID, but I mean, the way that Project Soli worked is it had all these radar things. So the second you reached for your phone, it realized that you were picking your phone up, and it started firing all the sensors. So by the time that you had it up to your face, it was unlocked and it was open. and it was faster
Yeah.
than Face ID because of that. I don't know. I can't compare how safe one was over the other because I don't know. But I did like that experience, and I hope that Google finds some way to incorporate that into a future Pixel device.
Yeah. Hey Joe, so you recently upgraded to the iPhone 13, right?
I did.
How do you like? You didn't have Face Unlock before, right? Or
Yeah.
Face ID. How do you like Face ID?
I don't really like it, honestly. I strongly prefer having a fingerprint ID because when I'm like laying in bed, I don't always have the perfect angle to have it shot by, and I've found it doesn't register quite as frequently as I would like it to. So I often have to just type in my code anyways. I would say maybe 35% of the time. Really not a fan of the feature.
Well, and that's like I don't have that problem. I mean, I maybe I do. Sometimes I do. I guess I do tend to type in my password a little more at night. So I guess I would echo that a little with Joe. But I do kind of wish that the iPhone had both. Like,
Yes.
they could put the like I have the iPad. I have the iPad. I used to have the iPad Pro, which had the Face Unlock on it, and it was fine. But I really do like the Touch ID sensor on the power button.
100%.
Like, it's really nice. And having an iPhone with the power button right there, like, I mean, that would just be so easy. Like, and I agree with Joe. I think they should give you another option, and stuff like that for when you do, because the Pixel has it and it's great because it kind of offsets each other, and stuff like that. The Face Unlock, I would say Face ID from Apple is much better than Face Unlock from Android. But that being said, Apple's been in the game for a while and stuff like that, and they've worked around it. But I do think you should have dual options. So
yeah, I 100% agree with you. Having both options just seems like the best way to work around that, so you never have an issue.
So this is your second iPhone device now that you had an older iPhone before, but
Yeah.
you then switched from Android. What brought you back to? What kept you in the iPhone ecosystem?
The texting was part of it because for some godforsaken reason that matters to people. And also just having all of my apps already like set, or like just being used to using the iPhone and already being adjusted to it. It didn't make sense to go back.
Yeah, I do feel like I kind of feel like that when I'm walking outside. I feel like when I'm holding my Pixel device, like I feel like I often have to say, "Oh yeah, I do have an Android phone or an iPhone too," because I feel I don't know, it just doesn't feel right sometimes to just have it, because I feel like people judge you if you have an Android phone, which shouldn't be the case, but I feel like some people do.
Yeah, it's funny how that works. One complaint I do have. So my last phone, it was like a 2019 or 2020 iPhone SE, whichever. I think it was the second generation. But I find myself missing the button. I miss having the button in the front.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like having to slide to look at all my apps. And this is likely just me adjusting to the new process because, I was used to the old one for like 2 or 3 years. So I'll probably not have this complaint as time goes on, but not having the button was very strange at first.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I remember when I went from the iPhone 8 to the iPhone 10, and had the button. So, I mean, yeah.
My daughter has an
agree with you.
iPhone SE, and I was trying to help her with something on her phone, and it took me probably about 15 seconds to remember how to get to Control Center on that. I'm sitting there trying to slide down from the top, and it's not there on the SE. You have to slide up from the bottom. Yeah, and it
Mhm.
I was like, oh yeah, that's right. The good old days.
Yeah, I do remember that. Tim, you still have an iPhone 8, right? Is it 8?
It's an 8
For work?
It's just for work, yeah. But I am upgrading pretty soon.
Do you miss do you not? What do you like the button on there, or would you
It
rather
drives
have
me-
buttonless?
It drives me crazy. I For authentication, it's really nice having a fingerprint scanner, like for authentication, because sometimes Face ID doesn't work, especially for Apple Pay. So if I'm like reaching in the cafeteria, I'm paying for my lunch, I have to like reach my phone, kind of, because they still have plexiglass.
Use your watch.
I have okay. This is the perfect time to talk about this. I have never been able to get Apple Pay to work on the watch ever.
I do it all
I
the
don't.
time.
Do you have a passcode on there?
I no. I
You
don't
have to have a
think
pass.
so.
Passcode.
You have to have a passcode. That's why it doesn't work.
Oh,
you have to have.
I
a
do have.
passcode
I'm sorry.
because
I do.
when you tap it, it should bring up your passcode, and then you put in your passcode, and it authenticates. You have to put in your passcode, or it won't authenticate. So,
Yeah, 'cause, like,
I'm not-
otherwise,
it's not-
otherwise you could make purchases by accident, stuff like that.
I
you
get
know,
the
so-
double click to pay, and I double click it, and then it says
Yep,
the
and
hold
then you
near
tap
reader.
it. Yep, you tap it, and then when you come back, you type in the password.
Okay, that's probably why it doesn't work. I've never been able to get it to work, and then I feel like the biggest
never had to
idiot.
type in my password. I double click and then I tap, and that's all I ever have to do. I've
Really?
never had to enter my password.
Maybe I don't. I don't know. I haven't used it in a while. I'll try it and I'll let you know.
I tried it at
I'll try it.
Disneyland when I was trying to.
Are you doing with your BECU card?
Yeah.
So I had an issue with my BECU card after because I recently
Is
had to
your-
replace it because I've lost it, and I had to remove it and then re-put it onto Apple Pay to make it work right because it wasn't working.
Yeah,
Specifically at Safeway, it wouldn't work. It would work other places, but specifically not Safeway. And I removed it, re-added it, and it fixed it.
Hmm. I'll
you
have to give that
you
a
might
try.
have to. The other thing too, you might have to. You might want to make sure that it's verified on there because you have to verify it on both devices. There was a
Oh.
way. There was a way that you could do both devices once you like. I think now if you add a new card, it'll say, "Do you want to add this and verify it to your Pixel device or not your Pixel, your watch?" And then it will let you know. So,
Got
and then
it.
it'll just
Make sure
authenticate it all
BECU
at
is
once.
verified it.
But you do have to verify sometimes both of them, just
Do you-
depending on the
How do you
financial
verify?
institution.
Is it verified
It-
through
it
the
does say
Apple Watch
maybe-
You
app?
should go into Watch. Yeah, if you go into the Watch app, if you open up Watch on there, it should be under Apple Pay.
It's under Wallet, isn't it?
Or Wallet. Yeah, Wallet and Apple Pay. And then like it'll say like tap here to verify or add to
Yeah,
to
it'll
the
tell you if
Apple
it's
Watch.
not verified.
It says it looks
Yeah.
like it is verified. Express Transit.
That's not available in our area.
No,
Okay.
that's
Yeah, so if you
totally ridiculous.
if you tap on your BECU card there, if it gives you like it'll say contact BECU card number, Express Transit, Apple Pay. If there's numbers under the Apple Pay thing, then you verified it.
It is. It is
Yeah.
on there. Okay.
Okay, if it doesn't work again, I would try deleting it and re-adding it. The other thing you could do too is put money on your Apple Cash card and try it with the Apple Cash and see if that
I'll
works.
I'll play
Just put-
around with it.
Just
I
put
shop
like
it-
$10 on your Apple Cash card and then try it like at a vending machine or something.
Yeah. I'll try at the cafeteria tomorrow when I buy lunch. It's like
Yeah.
it's
I may
been-
be
it's-
wrong. I may be wrong that may have been an old feature. I haven't used it a long time just because I usually have my Pixel or my iPhone next to me and it's too easy just to double tap. Like, I mean, that's just literally so easy to do.
Yeah.
So, so I kind of, to be honest, I don't use it to pay for the Apple Watch or pay for anything on the Apple Watch. One thing I want to add that I forgot to mention in my thing, Android Auto is garbage. Apple CarPlay is where it is. Like, I mean, Android Auto needs to go or needs to be refreshed or something because it annoys the fuck out of me. You can't even use Apple or Google Maps on your phone while you're connected to Apple or CarPlay. Now, you would ask, well, maybe you shouldn't be using your phone and your thing at the same time. Well, I often like to go in there and just put in the address on my my iPhone, and then it, starts directions on the map, but I can type it in on my phone rather than, typing it in or, whatever on the screen of my car. So that's just one of the pet peeves I have, but the interface is bad. The only thing that I do like is that it will show my Apple Music in line with my CarPlay, or excuse me, with my Google Maps, so I can see what's playing and I can tap skip the song or move ahead or whatever. I wish iPhone would do something similar to that, but yeah. So, any last final thoughts?
If you're thinking about getting a Pixel and you're wondering if it's great, it is the Pixel 7. Pixel 7 is great.
The reviews on the Pixel 7 are great. Honestly, I mean, if I would not buy a Pixel 6, even if you found it on the black market, or what. I will say that the Pixel 7, I think, is $150 off right now. So if you're looking at getting one, $150.
There's
off,
a lot
or
of
at least
good
it
deals
was
on
last.
them out there.
It was and if you're looking for more of a budget phone, I would say the Pixel 6a, even though I don't have it, heard a lot of good things about it. So. And that's, I think, $299 right now. So, I mean, that's a hell of a deal for a Pixel device, and
For
stuff.
a phone,
so
and
if you really, if you really want to stick with the Android ecosystem and you want a budget type phone, I would go with that rather than a Nord. Nord phones are great, but you do get, you get the Pixel experience off of that. So, yeah. Okay. Well, Joe, I will be interested to hear from you in like 6 months if you have adjusted to your swipe up and stuff.
See if the slide stops bothering me. I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, keep us updated on that. So, all right, let's move on to the big news. Somebody bought Twitter and is literally running it into the ground.
Oh,
and is
then definitely
running it into the ground. I heard today that he disabled two-factor authentication for SMS, breaking everybody's accounts. Like, without notice, he just shut it down. Like, I'm sure it was costing him a lot of money to do this, but don't you just tell people ahead of time, hey, we're turning off two-factor authentication on the iPhone on this or on
How did this
Twitter?
dude how did this dude manage to start a car company, PayPal, and a space
He
company?
didn't start a car company, he bought it. Isn't that right, Joe?
Yeah,
Didn't he
that's
buy
right.
it? Didn't you say?
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't start it. He bought
he
it.
start-
and
He started SpaceX
Yeah.
though.
I think he started SpaceX, but I mean, SpaceX is mostly run by the government too. I think, because they got a lot
True.
of government.
Well, they get a lot of
contracts.
subsidies from it.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so he disabled that. He rolled out this. He rolled out this Twitter Blue with a verified badge, and I already had the older version of Twitter Blue. The only reason why I upgraded is because I wanted to try it. Like, I actually don't even think I'm going to keep it because it's not worth the $8. Like, I did like the fact that I could edit tweets, and I will miss that if I get rid of this because there is no more plans below the $8. Like, you're stuck with that if you want the edit button. There's been talk that he's going to make the edit button free. I don't know if that's going to happen. He's talking about putting Twitter entirely behind a paid wall too. I mean, he's coming up with all these ridiculous ideas. But anyways, rolled out this Twitter Blue, and literally like advertisers are jumping ship because there are companies out there that are literally getting copied and doing tweets, but it's got a verified badge because of Twitter Blue, and they're impersonating a business and saying all this horrible things. There was one company, I can't remember what it was now, but there was this one company that got impersonated, and then their stock dropped like 5% the next day. something like that. And it's like, it's crazy. Like, you didn't think of this was going to happen in the first place. You just thought, oh, we're going to give everybody a Twitter Blue badge and it's all going to be great. Like it's just, it's madness, you know? And they apparently fired all these people. Well, they didn't apparently, they did. And then the next day, somebody posted that they were advertising for all these jobs the next day, less than 24 hours. So they obviously fired too many people. They were asking people to come back. Some people were reluctant to come back, but some people did, I guess. And I mean, it's just like, it's chaos is what it sounds like, you know? And, you know, you never know what's going to happen. The head of, I think the head of safety stepped down. The head of ads was going to step down and then didn't step down and ended up staying. I mean, just where do you go from here? Like, what is, like, you guys were all, you guys thought I was crazy when I said he's going to run the company into the ground. Like,
I think we all had higher expectations for this. I didn't think he was going to turn into this, like,
no,
terrible. Like,
when he walked into Twitter headquarters with that sink, I'm like, that's where Twitter's going right down that drain. Like, this is not happening. Like, this is like, I mean, he fired everybody, and it's funny. John Ledger, who is the CEO of T-Mobile, actually tweeted yesterday, or I think it was Sunday. I think it was Sunday. But he actually tweeted Elon Musk and said, "Hey, I should come run the company for you on the day-to-day operations, and then you don't have to worry about it. And I will, you know, make it successful and everything else." One word answer basically back was no. And John basically followed up in a reply tweet saying, "Hey, I think we can have both a great place for, you know, freedom of speech and content moderation, where both of them can live." And, you know, I think they did kind of talk back and forth on there. And Elon said, you know, "Hey, I think I got great expectation for both you and Mike." Mike being the current CEO of T-Mobile, and took over for him after he stepped down. But, like, I mean, I just, like, I don't know where to go. Like, I mean, I wake up every day thinking, what the hell is going to happen to Twitter today? And we all had a talk. What's going to last longer, the metaverse or Twitter? And you guys all said Twitter. And I was like, hell no.
Okay, but to be fair, like, Elon Musk sunk so much money into Twitter that I couldn't possibly imagine that he would go so far as to literally just go on a bender and blow all that money.
I knew this was going to fucking happen. Like, I mean, he is firing people over tweets. Like, I mean, like,
no bank is going to give him this much money ever again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got money. I mean, it's just,
yeah, but he had to basically sell off a lot of stuff and get loans from the bank in order to pay for Twitter.
I know, but anyways, I mean, and you know, it's just like, it's madness. Like, I don't understand. Like, there could be a day soon where we wake up and you open up that Bird app and it's not going to be there.
404.
Like, I mean, I feel like, or no, what was the whale? Was it the whale? It was the failed whale or something like that. You're going to get the whale back when Twitter went down. Like, I mean, he's making changes so fast, which I think it is okay to make changes. And it's okay to make changes fast, but not without doing some research into it.
Well,
like,
it's
the
like
Twitter
he
verified
makes the changes, then they get changed back like an hour later.
Well, and now there was 2 verified badges. There was a blue check mark, and then there was the official check mark. Like, I mean, it's just like, I mean, it's insane.
He's making all these decisions without, like, any other
person's like suggestions are, and then these changes are
he probably
changing.
he probably
before
just goes
noon.
he probably just puts out a message on Slack saying, "Hey, I want this done and I want it done now." Like, and
seriously
people are looking at
imagine
him
this
like it's just insane. Like, Joe, you're awfully quiet. What what are your thoughts on this?
Outside of the obvious political things, like the gosh, what was it? Like Aaron Lilly and Co., the insulin seller that lost billions of dollars off of an $8
Oh
check
yeah,
mark.
that was what I was talking about. Yeah, I think that was one of them.
That shit was
Yeah.
pretty funny. I also think it's very funny to just watch a billionaire do what he thinks are good ideas and watch him make missteps at every corner. Kind of shows that they're no better than any of us. Like, we're all just idiots. So
Exactly.
it's nice to see him like take a little punch down, show people that his ideas are pretty bad quite often.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's just like you don't know what you're gonna wake up to tomorrow, and it's probably worse. It's probably worse for people who work there. Like, what's they're going into work today? Like, what's gonna happen today? Like, like what's he gonna make us do today? To screw stuff up.
Yeah, and to that point, something that you already had like mentioned, I think it's absolutely absurd that he laid off such a large portion of the staff and then asked them the next day if they would come back because he realized he had made a mistake. I think that's absolutely insane. If I got that email from my previous employer, I would be so upset. There's no shot I'd be going back.
Yeah, it's
So I did something. I deleted Twitter for almost an entire week just because I was just so tired. Every time I logged in to Twitter, it was just all about Elon Musk. And I just got so like annoyed of it that I deleted Twitter for an entire week. And then I reinstalled Twitter while I was in California to tweet at some people from Linus Media Group that I met. And when I logged into Twitter again, all of a sudden everyone's verified. I was like, what's going on right now? Like, I was so confused. Like, Matt Evans had a check mark. I'm like, what? Why is Matt verified? And then I was like, oh no, what happened? I was just like, oh no.
like I literally bought it because like I just wanted to know what it felt like to have the blue check mark. And it didn't make me feel any different. I don't think I'm gonna keep it. But I wanted to see what it was like to have it. Like I mean there's so many other people out there that I've found that have the paid version of the blue check mark. If you click on the check mark, it shows you whether you're verified via Twitter Blue or if you were verified through the old method.
Defeats the whole purpose.
Defeats the purpose. Like, you're not really verified. Like, I mean, it's just, and who knows what he's going to come up with next. Like, he talked today about rolling out some type of way that you can authenticate what accounts are connected to your main account. So if you have a main account, Twitter or T-Mobile, for example, has T-Mobile, and then they have T-Mobile Help with their customer care. You're supposed to be able to group them together and say which accounts belong to this company are their official company ones. So, I mean, I don't know. We have 2 check marks, official check mark and then the old check mark, mostly the official check marks are for people with ads, and stuff like that. But again, I don't know. It just, I'm
you guys
afraid.
Remember a couple years ago in the previous 4 years when there was this certain individual running our country and you just didn't know what was going to happen the next day? Like, that's what's going on in Twitterland right now. This is what would happen if Trump ran Twitter, like 100%.
Well,
maybe even crazier.
Yeah. And I follow a lot of people who
social seems to be doing a lot better than Twitter. I'm just saying.
I don't know about that. But I will say that like honestly, I thought he would have been back on the platform by now, but he's not. So I feel like they're at least doing some good
That's
things with
one
that.
win.
The
At
yeah.
least Elon
I
didn't
mean,
let Trump back.
and knock
There's
on
a
wood,
win.
that we don't know what happening tomorrow. Like, all of a sudden it could be one day we wake up and there it is. But so here's the other thing too. Like, I follow a lot of people on Twitter, some of them who have been laid off, some of them who have not. I've talked to a couple other developers that I know and stuff like that. And like it sounds like there are a few other people who are working on a similar platform as Twitter that could roll out and be similar to a Twitter clone. I mean, we already saw it with Truth Social, which is Trump's platform, and stuff like that. I mean, it's a literal copycat of Twitter, like literally. But some of the other ones that I've seen some good ideas on some development boards and forums that I'm in and stuff like that. Some people are talking about making, video more prominent in it, similar to like TikTok, and stuff like that, but more of like a YouTube type style of video and stuff like that, So I think it's very possible that within even possibly before the end of the year or within the next 6 months, we could see another Twitter clone that comes out that's much more like Twitter. And to be honest, the first company that comes out with one, everybody's going to sign up for it. Like, once they come out that they're, a Twitter competition or whatever it be called, MySpace or, whatever,
Google
like
Plus.
or Google Plus. Like, I mean, there's never been a chance to bring back Google Plus, and it very well could happen. Like, everybody's watching is what's happening to Twitter, and it's going to work to their advantage, to gain these users as quickly as possible. So I think we could very much see it in very near time.
I have an idea for a follow up to Twitter's success for a new social media platform. It's going to be exactly like Twitter, same thing, everything, except you can only tweet once every 24 hours. And that's it.
Yeah,
you tweet once and you have a timer. You have a timer that starts.
There's been a lot of talk about another platform that was out there before, and it was called app.net. And it was prominent to never have ads. That was the ability that it was. But a lot of people have talked about wanting to bring app.net back, because it was literally like a Twitter clone, except for it relied on third-party apps like Twitter did in the beginning. It didn't have an official app, I don't think. Tweetbot, which even makes a third-party Twitter app, made one for app.net. And I mean, it was great. Like, I mean, I honestly kind of wish app.net was still around, because it was a great experience, to be honest. So, that being said, I also kind of wish Flock was back too. Flock was a version of Chrome, but made for social media technically. So, but anyways, yeah. So who knows what we're gonna wake up to tomorrow? I've been listening to a lot of Twitter Spaces and stuff like that from people on Twitter talking about what could be next for Twitter, or what could be next in the form of Twitter clones. But we'll kind of see what happens. So. Any final thoughts on the Twitter madness?
I mean, I don't think there's much more that I can say that hasn't already been said. I was just at the point where I was finally starting to get into Twitter and understand how Twitter worked as a social network. Because I mean, although I've had a Twitter for a while, I haven't really used it a whole lot because I never really saw a whole lot of point to it. And I just recently started getting into it. And then Elon Musk comes in and fucks that all up for me. I'm upset about it. I'm a little upset. Because I was enjoying Twitter as a social platform more than I was enjoying Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. So yeah, I'm hoping either he gets his act together and realizes what he's doing to the platform and his investment, and relinquishes the day-to-day control to someone else, or
And
something better comes along.
I think that's possibly what we could possibly see down the line. Eventually, I think he can't.
I just hope he
manage
doesn't
to
do
run
enough
the
damage
day-to-day
to it
operation.
before.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when that day is going to come, and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, I hope he relies on, obviously he doesn't rely on the people that work there now, but I do hope that he kind of finds somebody to take the head of operations, and they kind of do some more. I think they just need to do more research. I mean, it doesn't have to be the long research study I think that we had before, but where they rolled it out, they rolled out the edit button, to it took 4 years to get the edit button, because they did the research on it. But yeah, I don't know. Joe,
4
you have
years
any
to
final
find out
thoughts?
yet people want edit buttons.
Yeah.
Nah, nothing else from me.
Okay. Are you still using the platform?
Yeah, I still use Twitter pretty regularly. It's a pretty standard thing for the industry that I work in, so there's no getting away from it for me.
It's just everyone uses
And
it. That's
like
the thing.
Well, and like I said, I'm rooting for Twitter. Like I didn't get rid of Twitter when it happened, even though I was really pissed off at some of the things Elon Musk said even on election day. But I mean, it's just some of the things that he says he doesn't think about, and it's just fucking stupid. That he opens his mouth. Him and Tim Sweeney need like somebody to double check their emails and their tweets before they send it out, because it's just drives me nuts.
Yeah.
So anyways, all right, we will wrap it up there with this episode of the Gooplycast. I do want to thank everybody for joining us. For Tim, Roy, and Joseph, we'll see you next time on the Gooplycast.